More than 2,300 suspected members of the jihadist group Boko Haram are expected to appear in court on Monday. The defendants have all been picked up and held in detention since the start of the conflict 8 years ago. To date, just 13 people have been put on trial and only 9 convicted for their links to the insurgency. Detainees at a military base in Kainji will be tried first, followed by another group held at the Giwa barracks in Maiduguri. 4 judges will be presiding over the court cases, which, according to the Justice Ministry, will be held without media coverage for security reasons. Let's get you more on that developing story now. CGTN's Deji Badmus is joining me live from Lagos. Deji, the trials were set to have begun today. Have they kicked off? About 2,300 people there set to appear in court?
Well, Beatrice, we understand the trial has actually started. We do not know how many persons will be taken up at first by the judge, but do not forget, as you've been reporting, journalists are not allowed to cover this, and the court is actually holding inside the military facility in Kainji. That's in Niger State now, but the trial has started, we understand, and altogether in Niger State, about 1,600 will be tried in the court there, and then around 400 plus or so, or 600 plus I should say or so, would be tried in Giwa barracks. Of course, the court's holding in Giwa barracks, and of course 4 judges have actually been given this assignment. We're all waiting to see how it goes, but unfortunately the trial is taking place in secret. Journalists are not allowed to cover.
Well, Deji, the number is quite large at 2,300 or thereabouts. So what is the profile of the people or the persons facing trial? Are they fighters or suspected supporters of the group?
Well, Beatrice, some of them are fighters, no doubt. And one of the high-profile suspects actually standing trial today, it's Khalid al-Banawi, who is the leader of Ansaro. Ansaro is a splinter group of Boko Haram. He's standing trial. He was arrested some time ago and has been in detention for quite a while now. So he's probably the most high-profile suspect that has been mentioned. You also have other suspects who are, well, they are alleged fighters of Boko Haram. And in some cases, you have suspects who were actually picked up in the course of the military operation. And these suspects, of course, we have their relatives. Some of them, their relatives have actually come out to say they are not Boko Haram fighters and that they do not belong to the group at all, that they were just arrested by the military in the course of its operation. Well, we just have to wait and see how it goes. But of course, some are fighters, some were actually picked randomly, so to speak, during the military operation in the northeast of the country.
And we already know, Deji, that to date only 9 people have been convicted for their links to the insurgency. Is there confidence there, though, that the judiciary has the capacity to handle the thousands of cases it has lined up?
Well, there are issues over whether the judiciary has the capacity to deal with this, because you look at our courts anyway, they are congested. But then I think it's the reason why the authorities of the judiciary here have decided to appoint 3 judges. And if you like, you could call this a special court, so to speak. And so people expect that the trial will be speedily done. Of course, there are challenges in terms of gathering evidence and all of that, because in this case, we understand the prosecution will be relying so much on confessional statements now, but we just have to wait and see how it unfolds. Fact is that everybody wants this done. Some of these suspects have been held, as you've been reporting, of course, since this insurgency started. And everybody has been pushing for the trial of the suspects, and people want to see justice done in this case. But obviously, this is not going to be very easy. It's going to be quite challenging, because we're talking about over 2,000 suspects. Well, 4 judges. Let's just wait and see how it goes.
All right, Deji Badmus joining us there from Lagos.